Hey, what's the crack? This is Oliver Keane Motion Design, and today I'm going to show you basic transitions inside of After Effects. So let's get going. So first of all, I'm going to give you footage to download. Right below this video, there is a link to 2 bits of footage. So I have the flowers bloom footage, and I have my Oliver Keane Motion Design logo animation. So I'm going to drag them straight into After Effects right now. So if you just click and drag both of them and drag them into After Effects. So yeah, right here. So we're going to double click on these, left click on flowers bloom, and if we press spacebar to preview, there's going to be a bit of music on this as well, so I'm sorry for that. Yeah, you can see, flowers blooming, and click your playhead here and just drag along and you can see the footage. It's something I've used this throughout my tutorial series. It's really handy because it has a lot of variation in color and a lot of variation in kind of like quick edits and so on. It's a nice bit of footage to use. And then another bit of footage, if you left click on Oliver Keane Motion Design logo, it's basically my logo animation. Very, very easy. So yeah, we have these 2 bits of footage. So we have the flowers bloom and the Oliver Keane logo animation in here. And what I'm going to do is come up to flowers bloom and I'm going to right click on it and go new comp from selection. So straight away you get your footage in a new comp, basically makes a comp of that piece of footage. And what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to drag down my Oliver Keane logo animation as well underneath. Okay, so I'm going to pop that underneath, and yeah, you can see basically 2 of them are on the timeline down here. I'm going to turn off their 2 sounds you don't see, and see the top one right here. Okay, I'm going to scroll along a small bit. I'm going to just take out this fade really quickly, see right here, because I don't want that fade. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to take out that fade, so I'm going to come over here and see this little handle down here. When you come over to the end and just drag that over here, and if you hold down shift at the same time, it'll actually snap to your playhead right here. And then I'm just going to drag that back so we don't have that fade see anymore, so it's great. And if you turn that off, you can see my Oliver Keane logo animations underneath. It's quite big, but it doesn't really matter because this is just for educational use. It's not for final use really. So what I want to do is I want to have this transition to my logo animation. So basically what I'm going to do is add a transition. So if you click on flowers bloom footage right here, and if you come up here to effects and presets and come here to transition, and basically these are all your like main transitions for footage and so on. It's really, really great. It's really handy because you have so many different ones. I'm going to try like the basic one basically. And the basic one you can use a lot of times is linear wipe. See right here. So if I double click linear wipe, what happens straight away is nothing, see? So I'm going to scroll over to around 2 seconds. So if you go over to 2 seconds ish, around there, this is where I want my transition to happen. So you can see here linear wipe is here, but right up here at the top. And the best thing to do is just play around with this. So where it says transition completion, if you drag that, see, it'll start wiping, see? Really quickly. But you can actually like just animate this with the keyframe. So if you click your stopwatch there, and if you come down here to your footage and press U, it'll show your keyframe right here, and then just scroll along a small bit, and then you can actually control it either up here or down here. I'm just going to do it up here for now, and then if you do this 100%, okay? And then if you come back here and just press the space bar, it's going to transition between the footage on top and my animation. See, it's really, really easy. And what I'm going to do is trim my comp a bit because my Oliver Keane animation isn't long enough, you can see underneath. So if I come here to the end, hold down shift and just drag all the way to the end of my footage here and press N, and then come up here to composition and go trim to work area. See, very, very easy. I want this transition to start a bit sooner, so I'm going to go over here and drag these 2 keyframes over. So around there I want to start earlier. So there you go, it gets the transition in really quickly. Very, very easy, using transitions inside of After Effects is so easy, it's very, very easy. So yeah, just play around with yourself. And see here now, this wipe goes from left to right, and it's very linear in terms of, left to right. But if you come up here to your wipe angle and just like play around with that, you can actually angle it, and you can animate that as well if you wanted to, going like crazy, see? It's really, really easy. Control Z to go back to what I had, Control Z again, so it goes back to 90. So I'm just going to angle it slightly, say like, I don't know, 50, and then basically go back and you can see what happens. It's very like Star Warsy, you know what I mean? It's very easy, but like that's a linear wipe, and you can also feather these as well. So if you just do that, you can get a nice feather in between, see? So that's very Star Warsy, you know. So yeah, you can try like a few different transitions. You can see there's a lot here, you know, and I would encourage playing around with it, you know. So just for instance, if I come here to my flower bloom footage here again, and if I delete linear wipe will go away. We don't have linear wipe anymore. And I'm gonna just add another one. Radial wipe is another one to play around with, and you can see straight away if you play around with that, you can get like a, you know, like a ticker, you know, almost like countdown clock or something like that if you want to use them for vintage graphics. And you can feather that as well, see, so you can almost do, you know, tick tock, very, very easy. Also with the transitions, you have so many, you know. Block dissolve is a good one. Like basically what it does is kind of dissolve it off, you know, in kind of dots and stuff, but you can up this size of them right here. You look, if you do that, and if you do this, look, see, it'll come on and off. It's very, very like, you know, subtle and stuff, and you can turn off soft edges, see, because see, it comes on very soft. If you turn that off, you can kind of get like, you know, a kind of pixel, you know, build on, you know. You see a lot of people using this for their like retro video game intro and stuff like that, you know, 8-bit style. If I come along here to say 1 second ish, so come here to 1 second, there we go. And then if we go transition completion, it's at 0 right now. If you press U on your keyboard, yeah, and if you come along then to like 2 seconds right here, and then if you go 100% up that up, and then if you play this back by spacebar, you get the build on. See? So transitions are really great, honestly. Like, this is really quick one to show you how transitions work. You basically, they're so easy, honestly. Like, just jump in, take these 2 pieces of footage that I gave you, keep applying, you know, just layering them up on top of each other, like Flowers Bloom and the Oliver Keane motion design logos that I gave you. Just basically just pop them on top of each other. CC Jaws, and CC Jaws is kind of like, it does what it exactly what it does in tin, you know. It kind of opens and closes. I love this transition because you can do so much with it. So if you add a keyframe at the start right there, and if you press U again and come along to any point you want, and you're going to do a second, and then you go 100%. If you come back here, press play, see, it opens like Jaws, like that. But if you come to like in between here, and then if you change it to say, these are spikes right now, and you can change all the spikes weight and height. You can make it really spiky. See, you can do some crazy stuff. A lot of people use these right now for, you know, a lot of sports graphics at the moment, you see online and stuff. But it's very, very easy because you can see like it has so much dynamic range to it and stuff like that. Almost looks like a W right there if you do it that way too, you know, like Westworld or something like that. But yeah, if you play around with, you know, CC Jaws, you can do the angles as well. So if it's not the right angle you want, your direction, you basically can do that as well. So easy peasy, very, very easy to do transitions inside of After Effects. So in my next tutorial, I'm going to show you 3D layers and cameras inside of After Effects. So basic 3D layers and basic cameras inside of After Effects. So see you guys in the next tutorial, and have a nice day.